Hi, I'm Scott Sheldon, and welcome to this episode of Winegazer. Thank you so much for tuning in. So if you caught our last episode, you know that we took a look at the white grape Albarino, which is typically associated with making delicious seafood-friendly white wines coming from Spain. However, we took a look at two great examples of what that grape can do when grown in California. So we're going to do a similar episode today. We're looking at the red grape Tempranillo, which again, people typically associate with Spain. The origin dates back to the time of the Phoenicians, where it was grown on the Iberian coast. It is a black grape. The name Tempranillo comes from the Spanish word temprano, meaning early. And basically, this variety, it tends to ripen earlier than any of the other Spanish red grape varieties. It's world-renowned for making the red wine Rioja. Sometimes they do blend in a little bit of Carignan or Grenache into the mix, depending upon what's going on with the Tempranillo coming from the vineyard year to year. So really excited to see what California can do with this grape. So first winery we're going to look at, coming from the Truchard Vineyards, we have a 2007 Tempranillo coming from the Carneros AVA in Napa Valley. Rolls in at $25 US, 14.1% alcohol, 215 cases produced. So Tony and Joanne Truchard, back in like '93, they bought like 20 acres of prune orchards in Carneros, and they they decided, like, hey, we want to rip all this stuff out and grow some grapes and sell to winemakers. People were like, you're crazy, it's way too cold here to do that. They said, screw you. They went ahead and did it anyhow, and pretty much the rest is history. They started out selling to winemakers, and then eventually taking those grapes, making wines themselves, and then expanding out, growing more grapes, buying more acreage. And so, cool story of, just what happens in California, and people have a dream. So take a look at the color. Nice dark ruby color. Both wines, I've had them open for about an hour, and when you talk about Carneros, it's known for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. A lot of people, associate that area with those grape varieties. It kind of straddles the southern part of Sonoma and Napa, and close to the San Pablo Bay, where it gets that maritime influence. 2007 was actually a great year. A nice, dry, cool climate that year, and excited to see, what this Tempranillo from California is going to bring to the party. Let's give it a smell. So in terms of fruit on the nose, you got wonderful dark ripe plums. You got some boysenberries. You also have a little bit of cassis coming through, which is really nice. Then you got like a little bit of like this black tea coming through, and then you also have like some pencil shadings. Kind of like this graphite, woody characteristic coming through. Nice complex nose on this wine. $25 wine. Yeah, a little bit of leather glove. I like that. A little bit of cedar too. I mean, you can really pick up that cedar note. I mean, if you've ever been inside like a professionally done closet where you open a drawer and it's lined with cedar, you're really picking that up on the nose. It's really obvious that it's cedar wood. Let's give it a taste. Wonderful, fresh, sour, red cherries. The first thing that smacks me in the face on the palate. Nice notes of vanilla coming through. Really nice notes of vanilla. Coming from the oak aging. I think it was like 10 months and 25% new oak, 85% French, 15% American. Little factoids for you here at Winegazer. medium-bodied and medium acidity, nice chalky tannins. This wine is ready to go now, but definitely would improve with aging. I would say it could easily go 5 to 10 years and get some improving complexities coming through. Nice finish. It'd be a really great food wine. You know, pair it up with some chicken or duck, a little bit of steak or lamb. You know, nice, simple, hearty meat and poultry dishes is what I like with a nice Tempranillo. Going 3 stars. I think it's a great wine. I think it's worth checking out. Let's move on to wine number 2. So, wine number 2 comes from Hovey Wine. We got a 2010 Tempranillo coming from the Calaveras County, located in the Sierra foothills, and it's the Roleri Cuvée, this particular wine. So it's a blend of fruit coming from different vineyards in the Sierra foothills, Calaveras County. Rolls in at $22 US, 14.4% alcohol, 290 cases produced. Again, a little peek at the label. Okay. Let's give this baby a pour. So Chuck Hovey, you know, he started with J. Lohr as a winemaker. Then he worked for, I think, Steve Knott for over a decade. A lot of experience, I think like over 20 years of winemaking in the Sierra foothills, making a lot of great varietals, some of them from Spain, some of them known, the Rhone varietals as well. And so, interesting to try another Tempranillo from California. Peek at the color again. Again, pretty dark garnet, ruby, kind of reddish, dark color. Some air, ooh, a little bit of spillage. It's all right. It's live TV, no edits here on Winegazer. Let's get some air into this. Wonderful red raspberries, a little bit of red cherry action coming through. Nice, like cigar box, you know, tobacco leaf kind of action. Both these wines are very rustic on the nose, which I really like. They're not fruit bombs, they're not over the top. And I think, you know, Tempranillo is a great gateway wine. I mean, if you're someone who's kind of hooked on Pinot Noir or, you know, Merlot, this is a great wine to get into where it's not like real over the top. Again, it's a great food wine, medium body typically, you know, medium acid, and, you know, definitely something that is not like over adventuresome for somebody who's starting out and just wanting to try some new things. So let's give it another smell. A little bit of vanilla coming from the oak. Yeah, nice notes of cloves and cinnamon stick, and there's also a little minerality coming through. And it's definitely kind of like, not like a slate rock, but more of like an earthy, topsoil, kind of garden aroma minerality. I like it. Let's give it a taste. So again, you know, a little similarity going on with the fruit on the palate. You got that red sour cherry action. Also some red plum, which is really nice. I like that. You know, going back to the nose for a second, there's some things that are just starting to come through that I'm picking up on. And it's interesting, you know, after you pour a glass of wine and after a minute or two, you know, it can evolve and you start smelling different things than you did, you know, at first. Wow, so I'm getting this really dramatic, like orange peel aroma, like dried orange peel that's coming through. Very intriguing. Kind of has like an Asian flair to it. Wow. Wow, great black licorice too. Wow, I really dig the noses on these wines. They're tremendous. Let's give it another taste. Again, medium acidity, not heavy on the palate. You know, the finish could be a little stronger on this wine. That's the only thing I could really knock about it, is it's leaving me wanting a little bit more. It's like everything in the glass, it's really happening. There's nothing wrong with it, so don't get me wrong. I'm going 2.5 stars just because I want a little bit more of what's happening here. But both great wines, and I'm proud of USA. I'm proud of what California's bringing on the Tempranillo front. So I recommend you check these guys out online, and holvywine.com, truchardvineyards.com. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank both the wineries for sending in samples to the show to share with you to get an idea of what the grape Tempranillo can do when grown in California. So I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope I compelled you somehow to go out and maybe try a wine from Spain that's grown in Cali, a Tempranillo. And even if it's not grown in Cali, I'm telling you, if you've never had Tempranillo, try it. It's really makes delicious food wines. And so I'd like to hear your comments. Where do you drink in the summer? What's your go-to wine so far this summer? What are you enjoying? I'd like to hear about it. So thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, cheers.